Okay, so I wanted to talk about showing up um, today. Okay, and by that I mean you doing the things that you said you would. Okay, and let's be honest, if you're here, it's because you're very good at showing up for the wrong people. Okay, you do everything for others, be it your work, your family and friends, like anything really, but you don't do anything for yourself. Like in the short term, doing those things for others makes you feel really good. That's why you do it. But like in the long term, you get really frustrated that you still haven't done the thing that will make you feel really, really good. Okay. So we end up like looking for other ways of getting that feeling. And it might be something as simple as snoozing your alarm. Okay. Eating more than you should or not eating, like skipping a meal because you're busy, like having a few beers throughout the week or sedating yourself on the weekend, like sitting down and doing nothing aimlessly, like anything to get that sort of fix. And like as humans, we are really selfish people, and I'm going to explain why. Like we only do things for ourselves if you really think about it. But like sometimes the only way we can get that feeling of satisfaction is doing things for other people. Like we condition that into ourselves. But you're only doing all that other stuff for other people because it makes you feel good first, not them. Just have a think about that. Like when your boss asks you to do this extra thing or do this extra shift, or you take on another client or you work a little bit longer, deep inside, that's because that makes you feel good that you've done it, you've helped. Okay. But when it finally comes to you showing up for yourself, you're too exhausted to do it. So what we end up doing is finding a way that we can still feel good, like in control, and that doesn't exhaust us. So for example, that might be missing a workout. Like you've chose not to do that. Like it did make you feel good in the very short term where you're like, yeah, I don't have to train. But immediately after you're like, oh, I wish I'd have done that. Like not putting the effort in around your food, that's your choice. Not holding yourself accountable, again, that's your choice. Like basically not doing what you said you would. Like, can we all agree that if you did the things I've just mentioned, then you'd probably feel better in the short term? Can you all agree that?
Yeah, definitely.
Like, can we all agree as well? Like, if you did all the things that would make you feel good and energized as well, that would make you feel even better in the longer term. The stuff that we don't show up for, like ourselves.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
But you're saying no to those things because it does make you feel good in the short term. Like you said, you get that short term feeling of, at least I don't have to train, or yeah, I'm going to get takeaway. It's just easier. I'm not going to cook that meal. It's easier. Like in your mind, you're too tired to do it because you've been showing up for other people. And the return on investment of saying no, like the feeling of saying no in the back of your mind has saved you some energy, okay, and made your life a little bit easier just for that short term. But it must make you feel good. Like if you think about it, that's why you do it. Do you know what I mean? But only for a very short period of time. In the long term, okay, it eats up at you. It leaves you feeling in a worse position than before. And we end up saying yes to more things in life that we don't want to do because we want to feel good. Okay. And we don't know how to do that. It's hard to say no. Like it's easy to say yes to people. And we end up saying no to more things for ourselves because you know what to do there. Do you know what I mean? Like it's easy for you to just say no. So can you just see that we get stuck on this sort of merry-go-round of saying yes to things that we don't really want to do and no to things that will help us feel better? And ultimately we fall in that little valley of despair. So like next time you think about not showing up, okay, ask yourself, are you not showing up because you just want to feel a little bit better? Just for that short period, like I'm not going to do my workout. Is it just because I want to feel better? So is the long term effect of me doing my workout going to be much more beneficial than the short term effect of me saying no? Like and how long will not showing up make me feel good for? Like versus showing up. Like what do people think about that? It's a different like flip on the way of thinking, but I know I spoke to a few of you this week about it, but we'll always say no to something just to feel better. But it might only be like a few minutes, and you're like, I wish I'd done that. I mean, but you're actually doing it for the same feeling that you get out of doing the workout. Does that make sense? YOLO 100%, AC, agree for sure. Matt, yeah. Yeah, Louise, yeah. So it just gets you thinking a little bit differently. So next time you maybe don't do the thing that you know you should be doing that makes you feel better. Just ask yourself, am I doing it because I want to feel better? And then just one's going to give you like maybe a few minutes, and one's going to give you like, I'm so glad I did that. Do you know what I mean? It's another box ticked. So, and it's just recognizing that, because what you'll end up doing is taking on more work. You'll end up doing things for more people just because that makes you feel good instead. Do you know what I mean? And it's the world we live in, isn't it? We're conditioned to not do things for ourselves. Go on, there's more people in the chat. There's more people on this call. Let me know if that helped.
This Friday, that is exactly what happened to me, as you know, because we caught up about it, and
Yeah.
I was aching a bit still from the previous workouts in the week. So my alarm went off. I looked at the time and I just thought, okay, I'll put it on snooze. I went back to my old ways again. I was having a bit of a hard time in work this week as well. It's been a bit harder than usual. But what if I just got up? I would have been up then, and then I took it from there, get out of the house, take it from there, get to the gym. It's taking little steps, isn't it? So if I just got up, that I said to you, I think the hardest bit of the whole thing is waking up and getting out of bed. The workout, it's not as hard as waking up. The biggest challenge, if you're winning, basically, if you've just woke up and got out of bed. Yeah. That's my opinion, anyway.
100%. Like, that's why, like, if say you've obviously got a goal to go to the gym, but if your goal is just right, like my goal every day, I said this to Johnny actually, every day I start with a win, because as soon as my alarm gets off, I jump out of bed. Like when I first got together with my wife, like I scared the crapless, because she was like, "You're like a zombie," and I'm just out. Do you know what I mean? Like someone's come in the house and like broken it, and I'm defending the house, but I'm just out, and that's my first win every day. Do you know what I mean? And then I'm up, and I'm like, I might as well just go and do the rest of the day now. Do you know what I mean? Like I was up at 5 a.m. this morning writing this. Do you know what I mean? Got up, done. As soon as I was up, I was like, right, it's done. It's just thinking like that. Francis, you're spot on there. It's easier to do the stuff for others, yeah. And what you do is you condition yourself over the years to do that, because that gives you the feeling. Do you know what I mean? It's all we know. Louise, totally agree. Hard to get up sometimes, especially, yeah. And if you remember, some of you might not have seen Judy's talk yet. Some of you might have. One thing she said is move your alarm to the other side of the room. So you have to get up and switch it off. And then you're up there and you might as well just crack on. Do you know what I mean? You've already won, because unless you want to sit there and listen to your alarm, you've already won. Hardest part is to get up, yeah. So set that as your goal this week. You know what I mean? Just get up. Done. You've won. Do you know what I mean? And if you go to bed, you've still made a decision to do that. That's your choice. Do you know what I mean? It's like useful. Just gets you thinking a little bit differently. Because across the board, like the reason I've done this is because you're all feeling that way in some way, shape, or form. And it might not necessarily be getting up. It might be like actually just showing up to your workout, or you might have gone a bit lax with your food, that sort of thing. So resonate it like that. Just track your food, and then you won't feel bad for it. Or just do your workout. You won't feel. I think Johnny did his workout on Saturday, didn't you? And it actually turned out to be a better workout.
Yeah, got the positives from it. I didn't let it defeat me. I was meant to take a lad football, so I thought, right, let's get up, let's try showing up, go to the gym, see what happens. And it was empty, and I was like, oh right, well I might as well do the workout then. And then it's done then, and then I was back home, and the weekend was mine, sort of thing. So yeah, the proof's in the pudding. It worked.
That's it. And like one thing I say is like, I'll always give you a template. Okay, but I fully appreciate you've got lives, so there's going to come a point where, like, I gave Johnny a session, and let's say he did turn up on a Friday and he was aching. Okay, all he had to do was tone the session down a little bit, and that was it. He showed up. Do you know what I mean? So, and don't be ashamed of like just toning the session down here and there if you need to as you go through your journey. Adam, I had convinced myself that the hill was going to be too much for me last week in Llangollen, but once I got up to top, it felt great. And yesterday I did some extra steps and nearly gave up and felt great after achieving. Yeah, exactly, massive. And like, I know Adam nearly cancelled that work thing, didn't you, because of it? Because of that hill. Awesome. New goal this week, morning workout. Used to love them, got lazy. Yeah. And the hardest thing is starting, and then you'll be in your rhythm. If you can hear my daughter screaming, it's because Steph's trying to put to sleep. She's all right. Okay, awesome. So, like, these are brainstorming sessions for you. Okay, like everyone struggled with something this week. So I want you all to pop in the chat or talk out like what you found difficult this week, and let's see if we can resolve it. Like, you have all found something hard in some way, shape, or form. Otherwise, what happens is we take that struggle into next week, and then the week after, and then nothing gets sorted. Okay, so don't like make me call you out. Okay, if you have struggled with something, let's put it in the chat and let's sort of get it moving out. It could be anything, even small or massive. What have people found difficult this week?
I'm happy to speak up. I had a difficult start to the week. I had the first week off in January, so I'd sort of delayed my start of the year, if you like, and then I'd finally got to starting the year this week and probably underestimated the amount of work backlog I had. Monday, Tuesday went by, and as you just said already, Rob, I made more time for work and less for myself. I got to that point in the week where it snowballed so much that, yeah, probably in the past and probably without your help, I probably would have sacked the whole week off. And, you know, I think the word I used was like, I was paralyzed by, you know, that workload, and what that then translated into is that me feeling a bit crappy about, you know, not doing anything and feeling guilty for not doing anything, and then it just snowballs and you just feel worse and worse. But yeah, I mean, it wasn't a great end to the work week, but it was a better end of the week than it would have been otherwise. And I've probably finished the week, you know, more prepared now for the next one, and got that experience of having to deal with it. So thanks for that.
Yeah, exactly. And like Yala reached out to me and said he was struggling. Do you know what I mean? And you're going to come to points like that, and sometimes it's just good to, like, we didn't do anything revolutionary, did we? We just spoke and just organized his thoughts a little bit, and then he did something. And sometimes that's all you need to do. And like we said, the whole purpose of this talk is just show up. Do you know what I mean? Like, I think we said to Yolo, just get some, because he did have a dead busy schedule that day. Just get some water by your desk and get some fruit. Do you know what I mean? That's something. Otherwise, he wouldn't have eaten anything. Yeah, cheers for that share, Yolo. And would you say you're prepared going into next week now?
I will be this afternoon.
Yeah.
We've got a food shop this afternoon, and we plan it.
Spot on. So. And then just buy stuff. Get yourself a nice little pretty fruit bowl that's always at the side of your desk. You know, things like that. And I know Kate, she's not on this call, but she has like a fruit bowl now at the side of the desk, so it's just a constant reminder, that sort of stuff. Spot on. Gary, new goal this week. Morning workout. Used to love them. Yeah, and just set a goal. Just get up and even if it's just do a part of the program. And then you'll start and you'll be like, oh, I might as well just do the rest of it. Do you know what I mean? It's just the first rep is the hardest. Just think, right, if you set yourself a goal, get up, do a rep. And if I really don't want to do it, just go back to bed. At least you've showed up. Do you know what I mean? I'm yet to have someone who's actually done that. So Guy getting back
this week, Rob. I think mine was, so we're currently putting together a project for the City of Culture bid for Wrexham. And it's been like super stressful this week. Like so many meetings and arguments with the council and various other things. But at one point it got to a head where it was like I couldn't cope with what was going on. So I took myself out of the office and I just went for a walk around town just to take myself away from that thing. And I came back feeling more refreshed and better than I'd done all week. And and I knew for a fact that I'd even tracked my food properly and I was sleeping better, because I've taken the advice of having like audiobooks now instead of like having the TV on or whatever, and audiobooks seem to better. Although it didn't play my favorite last night, because Hellraiser was on last night as an audiobook, and it gave me some weird dreams.
But the good win from that is, like, because you were trying to show up for other people, but because you showed up for yourself, you showed up better for others. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But sometimes you just got to think, right. Like I always come out, like if I go for a walk, I just think things better, and I think, oh yeah, this will be better for everyone.
Yeah.
So just pulling yourself away, even if it's 10 minutes, that's all you need. Do you know what I mean? Spot on. Guy getting back into routine. Yeah, spot on. Amy, I've struggled with anxiety a lot this week. like we've got a few good trainings on that, on like managing anxiety, but I don't know if you want to like go into a little bit deeper on that, or if you want to drop me a message. But I know like a lot of people in here can resonate with like that sort of feeling in whatever area it is. Gary Watts, finding time. Yeah, like sometimes you just have to like create time. Do you know what I mean? Like I think you said at the start, getting up. If you get the workout done, that's your biggest battle, and then you've got the whole day. Whereas if you're trying to fit it in, this is why I get the workout in the morning, because if I think I'm going to fit it in the day, something will come up that I want to do with you guys, and it will pull me away from training, and I just won't enjoy it. So like if your mission is right, just show up this week, and then you've won the whole day then. Do you know what I mean? And just set as a goal this week. You've hit the nail on the head. Getting up is the biggest struggle. Yeah. Highly recommend just moving your alarm and just set yourself a goal as to get up. Do you know what I mean? That's the goal. Show up this week, and then you might as well just do the rest of it. Being okay this week, tracking food is a pain. What do you find difficult about that, Louise? Oh, you're muted before.
It's just getting into the swing of doing it again and doing it. I'm doing it retrospectively again rather than planning it and putting it in early. So and then it's like, so I think I'm about a day and a half behind at the minute. So I will rectify that, but I need to get planning a little bit more and put the breakfast in and my lunches in. I've made a load of soup this week, so I've got those stored away in the freezer, so that'll help. So I can then put it in the MyFitnessPal then, hopefully.
Yeah. So how about like that's your biggest battle at the moment? Do you know what I mean? How about like when you get up in the morning, you have a few minutes with a coffee, and you think, right, I'm going to do that. That's your frog. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And by like I just said a coffee because I find coffee dead relaxing. Like that's the time I get to sit down. Do you know what I mean? So it might be a cup of tea for you or something, but if you marry it up with something that's relaxing, that's your the biggest battle is relaxing. Do you know what I mean? That's your time, and there's no anxiety then. Do you know what I mean? You feel more in control for the day. So maybe just try that this week. That just show up in that area, and you'll find that will spill into everything else. Do you know what I mean?
Thank you.
My hunger is playing up again. In what way, Matt? Let us know. John, last week was hard getting up. Go on, is Matt there? Where is he? There he is. I don't know if you want to talk out or pop in the chat. It's up to you.
Are you Rob?
Yeah. Hi, Matt.
Hiya, mate. You okay?
You all right?
Yeah, good, mate. Yeah, I just seem to be getting hungry again after work, and obviously we've got me calories, but last couple of weeks I seem to be having these cravings again. It seems to die down and then come back again. I don't know if it, like you say, those gremlins are out or whatever because of work and early mornings in the gym, but
yeah, like it just means we just need to look at your food again and make sure you're fueling yourself. Like I know you've recently joined the gym, you're training harder. You're doing a few more runs, so you're probably just asking more of yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like instead of trying to drive to Manchester now, you're trying to drive to Scotland. So we just need a bit more in the tank. But it just shows you're working harder, so it's not a bad thing. So like now I know that, I'll just obviously have a look at your food this week, and we'll sort of get you moving forward with it a little bit. Does that help?
Yeah, I have upped my protein myself a bit. I trying to get 190, 200 just to see if that. Which has helped a little bit. But yeah, if you could have a look, mate, that'd be great.
Yeah, spot on, definitely. It just shows that you're probably working a bit harder and stuff like that. But we'll have a look at everything and see if we can get you fever. John, last week was hard getting up and getting out in the rain. Yeah, can't help the weather. You always show up though, John. I know you've been 100% consistent, which is good. James, getting up, my biggest struggle in the morning. Yeah, staying awake during parts of the day. Patrick, and like with that, it could be that you just, if I sit down, I know I can fall asleep. Just keep yourself busy. Do you know what I mean? Like, because what you'll find is if you sleep in the day, you've ruined that sleep pressure, and then you'll struggle to sleep at night. So give yourself a little bit more structure, pull yourself away, maybe go for a walk, create your energy. So when you start to feel like I always, after I've done my stint in the morning, I have my lunch, I always feel a little bit tired after my lunch. So I'll go for a walk just to try, and then I'll work. Do you know what I mean? Like create your energy a little bit. So if you're starting to feel that you're getting tired at certain parts of the day, look at your food and maybe see if you can slot in some time away where you can get some exercise in. to make yourself feel better, just pop in the chat if you'd find that useful, Pat. John Bailey, anxiety and stress in work, focus on coping mechanisms, taking time to respond to emails and texts and calls before making a response to avoid the fight or flight response. Yeah, spot on. There's a great, honestly, if I'll tag you in it, Amy, the anxiety talk. I know Johnny found that incredibly useful, didn't you, Johnny? About coping mechanisms around anxiety. So, and the thing is, like, yeah, and the thing is, it's like, it just takes practice. Like, you're much better now, Johnny, than you were a year ago, aren't you? Do you know what I mean? And you've just been doing it repeatedly, so just got to do the reps. I don't know if you've got any advice, Johnny, on your perspective on things for others who may be struggling, or.
Yeah, I'm a really anxious person. I didn't even go on camera when I started this thing, coffee club. But little things like, just my biggest advice is just watch that video, because there's so many coping mechanisms that would resonate with you. Yeah. Little things like focusing on twirling your finger and thumb around in a circle instead of focusing on the problem. Little things like that. Massive. Just give it a watch. Brilliant.
I've actually got one coping mechanism that I do. So I carry I can't say it, but I carry a hair tie on my wrist. So if I'm ever feeling anxious, I do that with it, and I twirl it or I snap it back slightly, and it kind of brings me back into the room slightly. So when I was having meetings with the council the other week, and I was having meetings with clients, I could feel myself getting a bit like, oh shit, what am I going to do? I'd twirl that a couple of times and I'd feel a lot better, and it'd just take me back to where I should be. Yeah. And it is finding little ways of coping, and just, you know, and I think the unfortunate thing is, I think it's, people still find it difficult to talk about anxiety and stuff like that. It's still a very like taboo subject, and it's, you know, it's hard, I think, sometimes.
Yeah, and the thing is, I think the biggest problem is, like, we look to try and like get rid of it, but it's a thing. I mean, it's like we all feel anxious, but we are guilty of thinking that it's not good to feel anxious, but it's good. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's a good feeling, and it's about recognizing that and just being and like introducing the coping mechanism and pulling and creating rational thoughts. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And just not beating yourself up about feeling anxious. Because a lot of the time,
maybe carrying a notebook around with you and write every time you feel anxious, writing it down in a book, which I do sometimes as well, and then you can look back and think how you can improve on that next time, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Learning lessons and stuff, a lot of reflecting. Yeah, thanks for that, Adam. And Amy said about the hair bobble. That's another added thing that's not on that video, which is useful to hear. Francis, hit my goals Monday, Thursday, and fell down Friday, Saturday. Need to keep going. Yeah, spot on, Francis. Don't beat yourself up about it. Just jump back on the horse as quick as you can. Amy, check out the video. Spot on. Anyone else got anything? We good? Spot on. So I've got a huge ask for everyone. Okay, like, the Facebook group has been really useful at the moment. Like, everyone's commenting and stuff like that, and that really helps me, and hopefully it really helps you. And then I can sort of get to people straight away and tweak things where I need to. All I'm going to ask is, like, if you watch videos, I'm preaching to the wrong people here because you're here. But like, if you watch this thing, this is for the people who are watching it back. Just comment on the videos or something, or if you can't make it, just so then I know that you've watched it. Because then that means that I'm not pestering you. Because if I know you've consumed the content, okay, like, I'm not then pestering you when you're dead stressed. Do you know what I mean? And stuff like, you don't need me down your neck. If you've watched something, just let me know. If you haven't commented, then I'll message you. Otherwise, like, I'm just sort of in no man's land, and I don't want to be that guy, you know, that pain in the ass. Like, you don't need that from me. So if ever, like, even if it's something as simple as like just an emoji, you know, because you're busy or something like that, even when I send you a message on WhatsApp, just let me know. And then I'm not like just sat there like twiddling my thumbs like this. Do you know what I mean? Just let me know with things like that, because it does really help when I get your feedback on things and stuff like that. Okay, so we're going to end on some reflective questions, just to get you thinking a little bit differently. So you can share in the chat, or you can just keep it in your head. Okay, like, what have you learned from this week that you're going to take into next week? I always want to think is if you've had a bad week, try think what can I learn from it. Don't know if anyone wants to share anything in the chat or shout out.
How better you feel when you're getting back to normal? Because I mean, this has been my first week back really after Christmas, eating better, tracking food. You just feel better, don't you? And you just realise then how better you feel.
Yeah, spot on. Love that. And yeah, what you'll notice is like it's quite easy when you feel bad to get into that funk and forget about how good you feel when you feel good. Do you know what I mean?
I understand how you can easily go like Christmas, then take it all into January, all into February, and next thing you know, you've ended up in a massive rut.
Yeah.
So it is easy, but the difference between us and other people, we know when to say, right, stop now. Yeah, let's get back.
That's it. And it's also like just being okay with like having the time off like you have, Tony. Do you know what I mean? Knowing that you will be getting back on the horse, and that's what we want you to, because Christmas comes next year. Do you know what I mean as well? And it's this year. So just get really good at celebrating it and enjoying it. Like I know this year, Tony, you really down tools compared to last year because you're in a different space, and that's great.
I did that for 1 week. The reason I did that more than last year is because last year I joined in October, so still relatively new to it now. I know I haven't got to worry, because when you first start, I think you think, oh, Christmas is coming, crap, I'm going to ruin all my hard work.
Yeah.
But the more you get used to it, you feel like you understand that, no, it's only 2 weeks. It's you know, there's 365 days in a year, so I was more relaxed this year because I know what to do.
Yeah, exactly, spot on. Love that, Tony. Gary, getting it done early always the best. Getting it done early, sorry, it's always the best. Johnny, turning up even if I feel tired. Turn up even if it's just doing something rather than nothing. Yeah, I think Johnny suggested like could have just gone for a swim. Do you know what I mean? Just show up and just set that as your target. Patrick, create my own energy when tired during the day. Yeah, love that. It's going to be game changer for you, Patrick. Amanda, this week I served everyone before myself and I'm shattered. Exactly. But I bet in the short term you felt great for it. Next week I'm planning time for myself. Spot on, Amanda. That'd be a game changer. Come on, there's a few more of you here. Let's get some.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, go on, Yellow.
So say if you're having one of those days where ultimately what you just need to do is just show up and you don't and you're not able to do exactly what is on the plan. Say for example, I've got a workout listed on True Coach, but turning up, and in the interest of turning up, I just go for a swim, say. How do I track that? Or what would you say? How would you want me to track?
So like there's a few things. So just because I put a session on a Monday doesn't mean you have to do Mondays. You could fill in a blank day. Do you know what I mean? Instead, or you could just put in the comments and say, I went for a swim instead. Do you know what I mean? It just depends what you want to do. If you're thinking, that workout, I want to do that another day, but today I want to go for a swim, just fill in another day on you, because I don't give you workouts every day. You don't have to fill it in Monday, Tuesday. You can fill in Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. Do you know what I mean? You can fill it in any order. It's just how I have to deliver it. So that you can just fill it in a different order, or just like your thing of showing up is the accountability. Do you know what I mean? You've been like, right, I'm dead busy, I'm dead stressed, right, I'm going to show up. Because what happens is if you don't hold yourself accountable, I become an itch, and you avoid a situation, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and then it's like I can't do it. Do you know what I mean? Whereas if you're showing up, it's just removed that straight away. Do you know what I mean?
I'll put you down.
Okay, cool.
It makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. Thanks.
I just want to make sure that sort of answers, but like just set yourself a goal of showing up. So if you want to do something, just say that you've done it, whatever that is. Do you know what I mean? And move things the other around.
I think mine this week was sort of doing things out of my comfort zone, and then looking back on it and thinking, I'm so glad that I've done that, because it's another thing that I've achieved that I never thought I'd be able to achieve. So for instance, yesterday when I was waiting to meet my girlfriend and her kids for the first time, I was breaking it, and I'd never thought I'd do anything ever like that. And it was like, to do something like that, it's quite small, but it's made me achieve something I never thought I'd do. And even sort of walking around when I was feeling tired and I wanted to sit down, but then pushing myself to that next level sort of felt good for it, really. I was dying afterwards, but I felt good for for doing it really. And it's, you know, it's been an eye-opening week for sort of doing things out of my comfort zone, but I feel good for it. And I've got things planned for next week as well, going into it.
Yeah, that's it. And it's always a sense of achievement that we want. So if we go back to YOLO, like in the past, like when things are really tough, you wouldn't have done anything. I know from when we spoke. So your win, maybe just let me know that you've done something. To me, that's it. That's more than you would do in the past. We've got to remember that. You don't compare yourself to me or to Adam or to Tony. Just focus on where you were when you started and where you want to be. And the one thing that you may not have done in the past is show up when it got tough. And that could be the focus just for a few weeks. And then when you've got into that habit and you get that sense of achievement every time, we add a layer. Do you know what I mean?
What's in your what you see is getting out of your comfort zone now? In a year's time, you'll laugh at it.
Yeah.
I know I don't think Ryan's on the call. He's on about in the free weight section of the gym. In a year's time, he'll be in there like he's been doing it for years. I would never ever run through Wrexham when there's bit of cars going past with me running, but now I do it. So it's the more you get out your comfort zone, the more you'll feel comfortable with doing something, and then you'll be like, it's nothing, man.
Yeah,
you just got to do it. I know.
Yeah, your standards change. Do you know what I mean? Like, and this is why it's always good for us to like reevaluate and go back to things. Your standards change throughout your journey, and if you don't reflect on where you were when you started, you forget that and you think you're failing. James, making sure I put myself first, get all workouts done, even if I have a hectic day. Yeah, just show up, James. Even if it's right, I'm just going to do a rep. Do you know what I mean? That's all I want. Francis, be accountable for 5 days and avoid the guilty feeling. Yeah, that's it. That's fine. And set that as a target. Okay, so like next question. What needs to happen in this week to make it a success? Just quick brain dump. What do you need to do? Probably just show up maybe, but what do you think? Where do you need to show up specifically? It could be show up is like a broad thing, but where, like I know Louisa said food, that's where she needs to show up. But alarm the other side of the room, yeah. There was an alarm. They made an alarm, which was, have you seen them toys that you press and it bounces around the room? They did make an alarm like that once, where it goes off and you've got to go around the room. So maybe invest one of them.
Be like
I seen on Instagram last week an alarm. I know it's probably not real, but it was an alarm bed, so your mattress shakes.
Brilliant.
I think on a Wallace and Gromit, isn't it, when a bed flips up like that?
Yeah. If you want to cause anxiety, get yourself one of them. Alarm the other side room, not to fall asleep during a lecture. Yeah, I'm definitely one of those. Get back into gym, no excuses. Yeah, let's just show up. Amanda just set a goal to show up every day, even if it's you drive to the gym, you walk in the gym. Do you know what I mean? And if you still want to leave, doesn't matter. The win is you've shown up. Matt, same here. Can't believe I'm in the gym. Mine is stay positive, enjoying the gym. Yeah, and I'll touch base with you about your food. Morning workout, spot on. Last one, what are you going to do this week that excites you, apart from my amazing sessions? Guy, turn up every day. I think something we're all guilty of is we go. We never have fun, or we never think about fun. And like your kids have fun. They play all. I watch Polly, and she just plays all the time. She's the happiest kid ever. You give her a wrapper, and she's like buzzing. I mean, like, when was the last time we were like that? Maybe not with a wrapper, but it's definitely worth planning something fun in this week. You don't have to think now, but have a thought going into next week, going into the end of this week. Plan some fun, plan some activities with the family. Yeah, do something fun.
Mine is
guys.
Let's go to a new coffee shop and photographing it. So that's going to be my new exciting thing.
Yeah, that's it. Find your fun. Do something. For me, it's playing my first game of rugby. Don't know if I class that as fun yet. Not sure. I'll let you know on that. When I'm limping, but we'll see. That's it, guys. We've gone on a little bit longer there, but that's because for 12 minutes you didn't hear me. So I'm going to crop that out and no one will ever know. Yeah. I really appreciate that, guys. If you've got any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm going to be touching base with a few of you this week. Can't be any worse than the Trail Half Marathon, Rob. No, definitely not. But I thought it was pretty bad. Good. Have a good week, guys. Keep smashing it. And if you've got any problems, just drop me a message, all right?
Thanks, Rob.
Guys.
Thanks, Rob.
Cheers,
Very, very
guys.
quickly.
Cheers.